Devin Bush was one nasty Michigan Wolverine.
Gets stuffed at the line. There's Devin Bush, the All-American.
He was an intimidating factor. He made people think if they were running patterns over the middle, if they were running the ball toward his side of the field, he was going to find you. He was going to hit you hard.
I think Devin Bush was so good because he was so nasty in a good way. His closing speed for a linebacker, I think pretty much unprecedented this decade. So violent when he got to the ball too, and just played with a nasty attitude.
I remember speaking with Michigan defensive coordinator Don Brown about Bush, and when he was describing Bush's quickness, he was so taken aback by it he couldn't even use words. He would just simply make hand gestures and sound effects like, oh, Bush, talking about sideline to sideline speed.
Devin Bush was special because not only was he special in terms of what he did on the field, he played with that chip on his shoulder, which he kind of needed as a middle linebacker. He needed that attitude. And just watching him, it was an art to watch him go from sideline to sideline.
He is athletic. He is a monster in the middle. He's very strong. He can cover.
Devin Bush was simply Michigan's best athlete of the previous decade, and I'm including Denard Robinson and a few other greats in that category.
When he rushes the passer, when he's blitzing, it's a problem. You might not know exactly where he is because he can get low and be behind some of those defensive linemen. But another one of those guys, when he gets to the ball, he's going to let the ball carrier know that he's been hit.
He's a great hitter. And so he's one of those guys who gets his hips and boom, there's a pop. There's a pop right away, and you can hear it and you can see it.
He's a once-in-a-lifetime talent. There's no question about his speed, his feet, his hips, and how he moves. But the fact that at his size that he was able to play that middle linebacker position is special. You don't get those guys a lot. There's a reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers decided to take him in the first round is because the things that he proved on the gridiron on Saturdays at Michigan.
He brings an attitude, a tenacity to the game, just a fun player to watch, and you could almost feel his presence. He was the tone setter for that Michigan defense, a very talented Michigan defense, and he was a no-brainer for me to put on the ballot.
He's one of those players, if you watch him, you put the game on, you wouldn't say what the score is, you'd say, how many tackles does Bush have? He's just one of those guys who's almost in on every play.
There is no doubt he was the leader of one of the best defenses we've seen in a long time.
He's a special guy to watch, and he transformed that defense. That defense was second to none his last year there, and it all started because he was the anchor in the middle.
You always appreciate enthusiasm, leadership, and to me, Devin Bush just seemed like, he was part of the real heart of that defense. And I tell you, nowadays, an unselfish player that can run like Devin Bush in a defense like Don Brown's against the spread attacks, again, I think it was perfect timing for Devin Bush to be one of the best players of the decade.